incredible card in Saudi Arabia pretty soon, and going back to we're literally working on Africa right now. We will probably do Africa this year too. So every year we hit these milestones and just keep pushing and pushing.
For years the prospect of a UFC event in Africa seemed like wishful thinking, but with the rise of three formidable champions hailing from the continent, it felt like the perfect opportunity for the UFC to capitalize on this untapped market. Despite years of promises, no event ever materialized. Francis Ngannou parted ways with the UFC, and both Kamaru Usman and Israel Adesanya lost their belts.
The way that this stuff works is now, Dricus wins tonight, wins the title, and I've been talking about Africa, and, maybe we start looking at South Africa and start looking at arenas and possibly doing a fight down there this year.
However, a new African champion emerged in South Africa's Dricus du Plessis, who blazed up the UFC ranks before becoming the middleweight champion. Before UFC 305, Dana White declared that if South Africa's du Plessis defended his middleweight title against Adesanya, he would bring the promotion to Africa.
Obviously, this fight that's going to happen in Australia here coming up will determine, our next trip to Africa. And I know everybody doesn't want to count South Africa as Africa, but I do. So more than likely, our first fight in Africa will be South Africa.
Du Plessis delivered, securing a fourth-round submission and retaining his championship, possibly sealing the deal for UFC Africa. After the event, UFC Executive Vice President David Shaw doubled down on the commitment, stressing that the UFC wouldn't let this golden opportunity slip away again. South Africa's Sports Arts and Culture Minister, Gayton Mckenzie, added to the excitement by revealing ongoing discussions with UFC management to bring the next title defense to South Africa. Mckenzie teased that an official announcement was imminent, sharing that negotiations had been underway behind closed doors to make UFC Africa a reality.
Dricus to Plessis. I'm very serious about Africa in 25. We're gonna go there. I'm gonna make this happen, no matter what. Again, here we go. I don't care what it costs, but whatever it takes to get that done, we're gonna go there.
White also reiterated his determination to stage the first UFC event in Africa by 2025, with Du Plessis tipped to defend his title on home soil. However, the UFC's hesitation to hold events in stadiums without roofs is a significant hurdle. Dana White has always been wary of the unpredictable nature of outdoor venues, and Shaw echoed this sentiment, downplaying the likelihood of outdoor stadium shows anytime soon. In response, the city of Cape Town proposed adding a temporary roof to Cape Town Stadium at a cost of over 30 million rands, transforming the venue into an indoor arena for Du Plessis' next bout. Cape Town International Convention Center had also been touted as a potential host for the event, but recent comments from Gayton Mckenzie suggest that securing a venue remains challenging. He revealed that Johannesburg Soccer City was also being considered, having recently completed work on a semi-permanent structure. The groundwork is steadily being laid, but time is running out following the announcement of Du Plessis' next opponent.
You know how bad I want this. I've been trying to get this thing done. The arena situation there is tough. It's tough to pull off. So that's been the challenge with Africa as a whole. So we're trying to figure it out. The place that we would have to do it at is outdoors. And you know how I feel about that. And so I've been trying to figure out the weather. One of the big things that I'm hearing out there is wind is a big problem. And we've done it a couple times, but anything that can affect the outcome of the fight makes me not even want to try. A lot of things can interfere with the fight.
And would Strickland still be the guy you had committed to Strickland previously?
Yes.
Okay. Dana White announced that the South African will rekindle his rivalry with America's Sean Strickland, but he also cast doubt on the likelihood of the UFC securing an appropriate venue in South Africa before the highly anticipated rematch. An African UFC event will be monumental for combat sports on the continent. South Africa, in particular, boasts a burgeoning MMA community. However, the sport is still in its infancy in terms of reaching its full potential and exposure in Africa. Mckenzie's vision to bring UFC to South Africa could be the catalyst needed to inspire future fighters, boost participation, and provide a platform for local combat sports on the global stage.
I want to bring the UFC to South Africa. UFC on African soil, on home soil in South Africa has never been done. That's legacy. That's going to be remembered forever.